Hello everyone, this is Saurabh Maurya and welcome to our channel Linguality Capital. Dear friends, in this lecture we will discuss one of the basic terminology of grammar, which is to identify the subject. Especially this lecture refers to those students who are learning the grammar from basic levels. A person who is learning the grammar from basic levels, he has to face many issues or many problems to identify the subject, verb and object. So here in this lecture especially we will talk about what is subject and how to identify the subject, what are the steps to identify the subject and what are the grammatical features of subject. So at first we should know that what is subject. There is a simple definition of subject that a subject is a part of a sentence that performs an action. If I take an example to identify the subject like Radha is playing the cricket. Okay, so here we can see that we have an example that Radha is playing the cricket or cricket match. So according to the definition of a subject, that subject is a part of a sentence that performs an action. How can we find out that who is performing the action? So to find out this, we arise a question who is performing the action. So the answer will be the Radha. So according to the definition, Radha is the subject of this sentence and this is your verb, this is your auxiliary verb, this is your main verb plus the present continuous tense we can say, and this is known to be the object position. And in also grammatical form we can also say that this one is subject and all this one is the predicate, and this is also we can say that subject, this is our VP, that is the verb phrase and object. Okay, so there are so many forms of in grammar to identify the subject, verb, object, what is the verb phrase, what is the object phrase, subject phrase, and this all. So in this lecture we will discuss that how to identify the subject and what are the steps to identify the subject. Okay, next. So in step number 1, rule number 1, regular sentences consist of a subject and a predicate, and the predicate contains at least a verb phrase. So here we can see, if I talk about the example like Mohan played the cricket match. So here we can see that regular sentences consist of a subject and a predicate, and the predicate contains at least a verb phrase. This is the verb phrase. Okay, next. So with the step 1 we can easily find out about the rules and for example. Here we have a note that the subject does not always come first in the sentence. Generally we assume that if we don't have much more knowledge about the subject, about the grammatical portions of the form, then we generally assume this one that any of the agent that comes in the initial position of a sentence, we find just we assume that this is subject. Okay, so this is not fixed that a subject always comes in the initial position of a sentence. Like if I take an example, if I say open the door, so open the door, if I say, then this is not sure that if this comes in the initial position of a sentence, then this is subject. So note must remember that the subject does not always come first in the sentence. Okay, next we talk about an example. Here we have shown here that over the years she had collected numerous prizes for academic achievements. Okay, so here do not think that this one is the subject. Here she is the subject and this one is the main verb, and this one all is the object of this sentence, or also this is subject and this all is the predicate of this sentence. Next we have rule number 2. In rule number 2, by asking a question beginning with who or what followed by the verb, means to identify the subject by we use a rule, that is by asking a question that is beginning with who or what followed by the verb. If I say who is singing the song, if I say who is singing the song, suppose that Radha is singing the song. So if we have to find out the subject, then we just arise a question that who is singing the song, then the answer will be the Radha. If Radha is singing the song, the answer will be Radha. Mohan is singing the song, answer will be your Mohan. Okay, so to identify the questions, especially in the interrogative sentence, we just arise a question beginning with who or what, then we can easily find out the subject. Here by asking a question that is beginning with who or what followed by the verb, this is the verb and this is a question. Okay, next we have another point, rule number 3 or step number 3, that the next way is to identify the subject is to apply the inversion test. What is inversion test? Inversion test means when we especially we form most type of questions by inverting the positions of a subject and the operator in inversion test. Here we can inversion in the sense the inversion of the verb. Verb means what? Auxiliary verb or the especially auxiliary verb, and when we just inversion of the main verb, then just we inversion of the form of the main verb. Okay, so here if I say is this mango, suppose that I have a mango in my hand and I'm asking to someone that is this mango or banana, then he will say to me, yes, this is mango. Okay, so if I say that our next way to identify the subject is to apply the inversion test. In inversion test, what happens here, if I say in a simply that this is mango, then here the subject position changes at the position of the in the position of the verb, I mean the auxiliary verb or main helping verb, or also we can say main verb, and here this auxiliary verb comes in the initial position of a sentence, or also we can say is place of the subject. Next we have the grammatical features of the subject. That what are the grammatical features of a subject? Here we can see that the subject normally comes before the verb in declarative. Declarative in the sense a simple sentence, but in question it comes after the operator. Just we have an example simple here, that they accepted full responsibility. Yeah. So here the subject normally comes before the verb. This is the verb and this is the subject. So the subject comes before the verb in declarative in the sentence a simple sentence. But in question it comes after the operator. Means if I say that did they accept full responsibility. So here we can see that in question it comes after the operator. This is the operator and this is the subject. Okay. Next we have another steps to identify the grammatical features of the subject, is that the subject is normally absent in imperative. That is what already we have discussed, that especially a subject is absent in a imperative. Subject is present but in the abstract form. Abstract form means we cannot see the subject, only we can feel that there is subject. If I suppose that if I say to you open the door, okay, so if I'm saying that open the door, it means I'm saying to you to open the door. But here I'm not saying that you open the door. If I say you open the door, then there is the presence of a subject. But if I only say that open the door, it means this is a kind of a imperative sentence, and here the subject is in the abstract form. Okay. So here is the example that help me with the luggage, in the sense that I'm saying to you, I'm not saying to the many of the people who is present in this earth, I'm saying to you that help me with the luggage. It means you just help me in whatever the luggage to have me. Okay. Next we have rule number 3, that is most verbs in the present tense have a distinctive forms ending in s when the subject is singular and refers to something or someone other than the speaker or the person or persons being addressed. Especially if you have the knowledge of the present infinite tense, then this is so simple. Okay, so just we have take an example that the older child feeds younger ones. So here actually the older child, here you will say this is the present infinite tense and this is the singular subject and this is the singular verb. But if I say that the older children, you know, child is the first person, I mean singular, and if I talk about its plural form, then this will be children. Okay, so if here will be the children, the older children feed younger ones, then this means according to this rule that most verb in the present tense have a distinctive forms in ending in s when the subject is singular and refers to the something or someone than the other speaker or this person's a person or persons being addressed. Okay, I mean to whom is this addressing being, so here you can find out. Next we have the rule number 4 or step 4, that some pronouns have a distinctive form when they function as subject of the sentence or of clause in the sentence. Okay, so we can easily understand this with an example. If I say she knows me well, she knows me well. Suppose that if I am saying to any girl that she knows me well, then this will be the subject. If I say that I know her well, I know her well, then this also means that this is the subject. So actually, according to some pronouns have a distinctive form. This is the pronoun, it has a distinctive form. Okay, they, when they function as subject of the sentence or a clause in the sentence. Okay. Next, we have the another point, step number 5, that is the subject determines the form of the reflexive pronoun that appear in the same clause, in the sense that the subject of any sentence defines, determines that what should be the object position of it's a reflexive pronoun. If I say, I write, or also we can take another example, I hurt myself, I hurt myself. Here also we can say another example, how do I hurt myself so badly. Okay, so here we can say that I hurt myself badly. Okay, here bad is the adjective. This is the adjective, and to make it adverb we just add ly, but here we will not say this is the adjective or adverb, we will only say this is the object because it comes in the end position of a sentence. Okay, so here I what does this rule wants to explore that the subject determines the form of a reflexive pronoun that appear in the same clause. Here I determines myself. I mean this reflexive pronoun is determine the subject position. This is what this rule want to explore. Okay. If here will be they, then you will not say that they hurt myself badly. Then they hurt themselves. Them, here will be the selves, just LVS. Okay. So I hope you will have understand what do I want to say here. Okay. In the next, and I hope this is the last one, that when we turn an active sentence into passive sentence, we changes the subject. Means if I take an example of the present tense, present infinite tense, suppose that I take example, I write a letter. So according to the general structure of our grammar, we can see here that this one is the subject, this is the verb, this is the object, or this is the subject, this all is the predicate, or this is the subject, this is the verb phrase. Okay, here verb plus object in the sense this is the letter in the sense that something is written, that is a kind of a, we can say, noun. So I write a letter, this is the verb phrase also can be, but just if I am talking about the rule is, I mean to how to I mean grammatical features of a subject, how to identify. So here according to this rule, when we turn an active sentence into passive sentence, we change the subject. It means what does this rule want to explore? According to this rule, just delete it. Okay, here also let's see, I write a letter. So according to this rule, this is the subject and this is the object. When we turn an active sentence into passive, when it turns, then this object portion comes here and this goes from here to here. So here will be a letter is written by me. Okay. So what does this rule explores in this sentence, that when we turn an active sentence into passive sentence, we changes the subject. There is the exchanges of the subject and the object. Okay. So I hope this video will help you much more, and you will have got much more ideas about how to identify the subject, what are the rules to identify the subject, and what are the grammatical features of a subject. Okay, so I hope this video will help you much more. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.